hello you bearded bastards, and welcome back once again to Dwarf Fortress. And my beautiful bastards, I have some wonderful news for you today. You see, Dwarf Fortress has received a new update. We are now in version 0.47.01, an update that is being dubbed the Villains Release, for various villainous reasons. And today I was thinking we could just do kind of a little overview of it, what we can expect to see. I do have a feeling it's going to be a bit disjointed, because there are so many different things to see, and honestly I'm not too sure how to experience it all. But we'll just kind of have some fun bumbling through it, and I'm sure we'll see some of it at least. I'm pretty damn excited, and you should be too. Okay, now then. First things first, I've already generated a new world and have been playing a little bit. But before we look at this world at all, I think we should take a look and see what was added to the game. Don't you? I'm sure a lot of you know already, but some of you don't. And so let's take a quick look. Heading over to bay12games.com, where you can download the game if you're interested. And we're just gonna scroll down here. And here we are. This is what's been added to the game. Oh, and man, there is a lot. Now we have guilds in Fortress mode that organize and petition for guild halls. Guild members do skill demonstrations, so you can have your farmers guild performing farming demonstrations with one another in their new guild hall. That's very exciting. Members of organized religions can petition for temples and priesthood recognition. Priests give sermons and comfort stressed dwarves. Totally rockin'. That'll help with stress a little bit, I would imagine. Traitor dwarves, artifact heists, interrogation for crime from the justice screen, counterintelligence readout, and organization charts. All part of the villainous editions there. We have slow filling aquifers, a bit more realistic and easier to manage, I would imagine. You can start an adventuring party with multiple members and pets. You can specify their background and starting location, equipment, and pets. There's a tactical combat mode for the adventurer party, rideable mounts in adventure mode, and a whole bunch of other stuff added for the mounts. Very exciting. You can name them. You can pet animals in adventure mode, a much hyped edition. Can't wait to see how we can abuse that. Scrolling down a bit, some additions to conversations in adventure mode, an intrigue display with actors and charts discovered in interrogation in adventure mode. Very interesting. So you can interrogate people in adventure mode. That sounds interesting. There are divination shrines with dice and various effects. Speaking of interesting, that sounds very tantalizing right there. I've already heard some wild reports of things people have been doing with that. Intermediate positions in adventure mode, chamberlains, etc. Civilizations working together to stop world-ending threats in world generation. That sounds epic. Various villainous activity in world generation, as well as in play in the world while you're in Fortress mode, and in more limited fashion in Fortress mode. Theft, sabotage, abduction, assassination, all kinds of stuff. Romantic relationship changes, multiple lovers, affairs, children outside of marriage, divorces. That should give us some very cool stories, I would think. Merchant companies, military orders, mercenary companies, craft guilds in world generation. Individual mercenaries and companies can upgrade their equipment. Religious interactions, shrine building, sermons. Scrolling down and speeding up a little bit. How much more do we have left here? Now we're getting down there. Oh, some real cool stuff here. Various horrifying new necromancers / mummy / demon / vampire, etc. matter. Snowballing zombie invasions, multiple experiment types, intelligent undead lieutenants with new powers, nightmarish summons, spreading evil zones, promises of immortality in villainous plots. Dwarves can trigger dig deep disasters in world generation with repercussions coming to other sites including fort mode, if you know what I mean, and I'm sure you do at this point. Some new locations, monasteries, private city towers, guild halls, merchant counting houses, forts, all kinds of stuff. Man, oh man. Okay, moving on, we have some bug fixes here, and it looks like we hit all the high points anyways. And so, getting back to the game, and first I'd like to introduce you to this fortress I was messing around with. Shedim Katen, Shadow Channels. Nothing too special really, but just giving you a little idea of what's going on here. I still haven't seen any of the new features quite yet, but I'm sure we'll see something. We just have to give it a bit of time here. The fortress isn't that interesting right now, but if we look down here, far underground, we're starting a new fortress. It's coming along, and we'll be checking back in on them in a second. For now, I want to hop over into Legends mode. From what I've seen so far, it has been vastly improved, and I've already seen a ton of really cool things. First off, I'd like to point out, down here, this world had the Age of Dragon and Tundra Titan, and then it went to the Age of the Tundra Titan, and then at some point in the future, it went back to the Age of the Tundra Titan and Dragon. More on that in a second. Now then, historical figures. Let's see what we got in here. We have a dragon, a male dragon known as Ona Obrazasmza Lungakasla, who died in the year 160. A closer look is warranted. He was the only dragon in this world, did some fairly typical dragon things, eating animals, stealing crowns. Scrolling down to the very bottom, the dragon was killed in the year 160, killed by an elephant. But in the year 416, the body of Ona was animated by the human necromancer Caspa Great Tongues. So that right there is the reason this world went from the age of Tundra Titan and Dragon to the age of the Tundra Titan, back to Tundra Titan and Dragon. The dragon resumed its life as a zombie. Now there's this human necromancer, Caspa Great Tongues, who now has a zombified dragon on its side. Maybe we should take a look at that guy, huh? Ah, here we are. Caspa Great Tongues, a male human necromancer born in the year 29. Straight off the bat, we're seeing some interesting things here. In the year 36, Caspa and the human diseased thrall, Thel Castlewilts, became childhood friends. Diseased thrall, that's a new thing right there. And just while we're on the subject, that doesn't mean that Caspa became friends with a diseased thrall creature. Whoever this Thel Castlewilt character is could have become a diseased thrall many hundreds of years later. It's only calling them a diseased thrall right here because that's their most recent state. Yeah, just having a look here, I'm over at Thel now. It looks like in the mid-autumn of 95, the dwarf frozen ghoul lead-soaked boat infected Thel with a contagious, ghoulish condition. That is so cool. Part of the new release right there. So I guess some of these special undead characters can infect other people and turn them into undead as well. Just amazing. Anyways, gonna go back to Caspa the Necromancer. Looks like Caspa became friends with a couple of people. In year 38 became friends with Pecklod Spattered Framed. And in year 41 became lovers with Pecklod. And it looks like in that year, Caspa also became the building master of the League of Businesses. And I imagine building master is one of the new titles that were added to the game. Mostly a cosmetic thing, I believe. Uh-oh, but it looks like Caspa began embezzling funds as the building master of the League of Businesses under the influence of Asmir Chaos Ankle. Some villainous activity. How cool is this, guys? Come on. Sorry. Okay, tone it down, Krug. In the same year they were caught embezzling funds, they also fought in a couple of conflicts. It looks like Cruel Rhythmic was attacked. Later that year, Amseer Chaos Ankle corrupted Lima Colored Lovely in order to have an agent in Wispy Faiths. Okay, so it looks like this Amseer Chaos Ankle here must be the one controlling Caspa's villainous activity. It says Caspa met with Lima, sent by Amseer I guess, and made a threat. Lima was too afraid not to comply, despite the efforts of surrounding allies to stop the plot. The following year, Caspa ceased to be the building master of the League of Businesses and was convicted of embezzlement and sentenced to a term of 8 years. And they were imprisoned. Man, oh man, this keeps going. While imprisoned, Caspa became obsessed with their own mortality. Because he was too proud to give in to death, he also began worshipping Aguk Truth Cherished, the human goddess of forgiveness, mercy, and death. 2 years after that, Helpful Wayward was acquired in Wispy Faiths by Caspa, which was a bronze slab created by that goddess, and on it were inscribed the secrets of life and death. At this point, Caspa became a necromancer. Going downhill fast here, Caspa. 8 years later, Caspa corrupted his lover, Pecklod Spattered Framed, in order to have someone to act on plots and schemes in Wimdweld. Caspa met with Pecklod Spatter Framed and offered a bribe. Pecklod trusted Caspa and agreed, despite feeling no avarice and valuing the law. Very interesting, this Pecklod really must like Caspa. After that, it looks like this Pecklod character plotted to infiltrate the balanced empires in order to prepare a coup under the influence of Caspa. Caspa became the overlord of the Skirts of Influence, which looks to be the primary criminal organization in Wispy Faiths, but eventually aroused general suspicion in Wispy Faiths after appearing not to age, and looks like he had to flee to the Step of Voice, where he became the captain of the Fence Dangers. Not too sure what that group is exactly, but it appears to be the one that constructed a necromancer tower for Caspa, and it's the one that Caspa still is a part of today. It's at this point that his necromancer activities really start to skyrocket. Alright, I'm gonna really start moving down this list here. There's just so much. Yeah, scrolling down here, it looks like this necromancer just kind of went crazy, bringing back all kinds of bodies. Oh man, yeah, like 100 years on, they've brought back just hundreds of bodies. Frozen ghouls are the intelligent undead of choice, it seems. And from the looks of it, this sort of activity carried on until present day. Well, gonna switch gears here and try to wrap up this Legends mode romp. But first, I want to take a look at Pecklod, Caspa's lover. Unlike Caspa, she didn't have any friends as a child, only Caspa. she became his lover, became the master of beasts of the League of Businesses. In 52, she became the lady of the Coalition of Stokers. Oh. And that was before Caspa started trying to corrupt her. What a dirtbag. So he saw that she became lady and was like, maybe I can use this. Yeah, look at that. He corrupted her and she started being a scumbag. Sometime after that, she fought in some conflicts and was eventually struck down in the year 63 by a jabberer. And her body, amongst others, were flayed and the skin stretched over the citadel of filths by the malice of coalitions in cruel rhythmic. A nightmarish end right there. But it gets worse. Almost 400 years later, the body of Peklad was animated by the human necromancer, Caspa Great Tongues. Not as a frozen ghoul either, just kind of a trashy old zombie or whatever. So the guy who corrupted her and possibly also led to her death seemingly didn't give much of a crap about her dying. And 400 years later, she was just animated, like any of his other zombie minions. Quite a story, really. And it all originated with literally the very first thing on this list, that dragon. Makes you wonder how many more of these creatures have fascinating stories attached to them. At this point, I could say we have a pretty decent grasp of what this world might be like. I'm glad we got a closer look at that Caspa character. I actually picked around in the history a little bit before this video, and something really interesting, as I said before, Caspa is still alive today. But what I didn't mention is that this world here, well, it's been around for quite some time, and in fact, is currently year 6170. So Caspa Great Tongues is more than 6,000 years old. And I have a pretty good feeling that necromancer controls most of the world. Not 100% on that, but I know the necromancers are responsible for destroying the dwarves and the goblins and the demon that leads them. They've conquered a vault, which is pretty interesting. Anyways, okay, that's enough legends. Gonna head back to that fortress. Shadow channels now. Yes, here we are. Looks pretty much the same up here, doesn't it? They've been here for about a year, so some time has advanced. And as I had said before, this was just a temporary area up here. Most of what they've been doing is down here underground, far, far underground. Nothing too interesting, really. Nothing that pertains to the update anyways. Just have some walkways. And up here we have the starting of a meeting hall. Something very interesting that I noted was that in this area here, I chose it specifically because it had a light aquifer. You can see this water here in this tunnel. That is from the aquifer. If we go up a little bit here, just to this level, this is where the aquifer is. But I built some walls around it. Easily, mind you, just to keep the water from flowing in. It flows in very slowly, incredibly slowly. Like you can just dig through it no problem. The water will just continue leaking through, which is totally awesome. Feels super realistic. It's neat to be able to carve out an area and have like water leak in. Nice and slow. I'm sure you could use that somehow, but I mean, I can't stress enough how slow it comes in. I had tried to get a little cute over here at our meeting hall, and I thought maybe I could somehow use it to make a mist generator. And if you look upwards, you can see this tunnel, right? I dug it down to where the aquifer is. Just this way right here. But we have a starving miner. I locked him in there. Accident, sorry dude. There you go, on your way. Anyways, yes, all this yellow dirt here, this is the aquifer. And so we just hacked straight into it, and this water that's right here, this is all that's come out of it. It almost evaporates faster than it comes out. Although I'm thinking that, I don't know, maybe if we continue digging down, the water will come in fast enough where it will drip down, give us a nice slow mist generator thing. Might be cool. You could have like kind of a underground rain, sort of. It'd certainly be a lot safer than a normal mist generator. Would it be more effective though? That's the question. Gonna toy around with that idea a little bit more, I think. Anyways, as of yet, I haven't seen too much that pertains to the new update. Trying to think. Oh, well actually there is something. Up over here in this northwest corner, we were attacked by the undead, like right at the beginning. There were zombies in the mix, like you'd expect, but some of the creatures were ones I haven't seen before, and I don't really know exactly what they are. I think they might have been necromancer experiments. They were called soldiers of something, and they had black, warty skin and 3 horns. And luckily, as soon as I unpaused the game, they all just kind of disappeared like they ran away. Fortuitous, although terribly spooky. It's like we just happened to see them at the periphery of our settlement here. They're out there watching us. Maybe even now. I certainly wouldn't doubt it. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for new bits so far. As I was saying, I don't think we can expect to see any villainous activity quite yet anyways. Not in a fort that's so young. We're gonna have to let things advance a little bit farther, I think. And so, I was thinking we should check out adventure mode. There's definitely gonna be some stuff we could see in there. Let's do it. Alright, straight from the top. Start playing adventure mode, and let's see here. Gonna be a human, I guess. It's our only option. And here we go. Okay. We could choose our background, and it gives us a list of the settlements we could start off at. That's exciting. Oh, we can even start at Jestmark, the necromancer tower that Caspa owns. Looks like we could choose an occupation too, but it appears to be grayed out. Oh well. And as for our beliefs, that's not an option seemingly. Fair enough. Moving on. Skills next. It appears to all be the same. You can see we have the rider skill here. That's a new one. Put a couple points in there. Also, it looks like we have miner as a skill here now. I think that's new. Yeah, what the hell. Moving on. Our appearance, which appears to be the same. Personality, again, the same. This is new. Equipment. So we can choose what items exactly we take with us. Very interesting. It looks like we start out with a lead whip and a large zinc dagger. Not too sure if that's a bug or what, but usually you can't have items made of these metals. Strange. Well, I'll pick something a little different. And in fact, I'll pick a pick. Wonderful. And ooh, looks like we can increase the quality. Very cool. Oh, there we go. It costs points to do that, of course, but it's an interesting addition, that's for sure. Gonna move on now to mounts and pets. And here we go. Looks like we have all kinds of different animals we could bring with us. That is certainly exhilarating. A beak dog. Phenomenal. I'm gonna take a beak dog with me. Anyways, yeah, I think that'll do it. But looking up at the top of the screen, you can see add a new character to the party. And so what the hell, let's give that a swing. Add a new character, a human once again. It's our only choice. We'll have them start at Jestmark as well. Moving along here, random abilities. As for mounts, I should definitely pick something that I know I can ride. A horse, I guess, is the obvious choice. And there we go. That should do it. Okay, so we have our party of 2 and our crazy animals. Let's take a swing at it. Let's go! Oh my god. Okay, alright, we've done it. It's many hours later, and I've discovered that that was a bug right there, because the adventurer we were trying to make was an outsider, and apparently outsider adventurers crashed the game. So I had to figure out a workaround, made a bunch of other dwarven fortresses all over the map, just little tiny ones, and eventually I was able to start an adventure at one of those fortresses. So we're here at Shadow Channels, as a beetle man. I forget the name, it's not important, but what is important is that we have a companion here as well as some pets. Nothing wacky, unfortunately. We didn't have the option. Okay, so I'm just gonna move out into the open right over here, and we can take a look at what we got here. Okay, it's me, my companion, and our animals. Now, I don't know what the game will allow us to ride. Of course, that's gonna be the first thing I want to check into. Let's give it a try. Okay, well, at the time being, it looks like I can only mount my horse. I brought an alpaca with me, as well as a reindeer, as well as a war dog. I didn't think I could ride it, but you never know. Okay, I've mounted a horse. Interesting. Okay, and there we go, just kind of riding around, followed by all my loyal companions. Pretty much what you'd expect. That should make traveling long distances much more, bearable in some circumstances. I'm curious if, you know what? Let's take it up to a gallop. And I want to see how far this thing can jump. If it's much farther than normal jumping, it should be, right? All right, maximum speed achieved. And, okay, it's not that good. Or, you know what? Okay, yeah, I just jumped off the horse. Maybe there's a way to jump the horse. I don't know if there is, though. There's a tactical party member moving sort of thing. And, I'm not too sure what that's doing for me. I switched to the other party member just now. All right, looks like there's a setting here where I can have a character choose their own actions. Not terribly sure what this all means. Maybe it affects combat or something. Could well be. Oh, and right, another thing we could test out here. There you go. There's a good horse. Anyways, okay, I think it's time we head out and check out some stuff. I'm sure there's got to be some cool junk out in this world. I was wondering why my horse is acting so erratic. It's because I've been forcing it to gallop around all over the place and it's just collapsing due to exhaustion. Anyways, get back up, you sleepy boy. My horse is crawling right now, I guess. Get up there. There you go. There's a buddy. Take a rest. Anyways, okay, continuing. Well, there are some things on the map here that look pretty cool. Like down here to the south, there's a fort. Let's go check that out first. All right, we're approaching now. You can see it has its own little unique icon here on the travel map. Let's do it. Looks like kind of just like a fortress in a human city so far, although it is pretty large. Ah, here we are, the entrance. Well, I can't go through. Not while mounted, maybe? Right, okay. That makes sense. All right, pretty neat. Looks like a bit of a compound here. Barracks, mess hall perhaps, chairs and tables, and the whole thing is surrounded by a wall. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty much what I expected, I guess. Probably would have been cool if there was anybody here, but oh well. Still a very nice addition. I just realized all of our animals are gone. Probably just wandered off. It might be for the best. They would have just ended up dying anyways, I guess. Okay, continuing on. And it looks like up to the north there's a fortress. And I think that's different than a dwarven fortress. I have a feeling it's the same as a fort here. In fact, I'll almost guarantee it, but right next to it is a monastery, which I'm sure is different. Yeah, let's head over. Okay, here we have it, the monastery. We're at it now. See, it appears to be just a couple of little icons here, scattered icons. Interesting, let's move in. Okay, moving up to the north here, you can see some sort of a statue. What is next to it? Oh, cool. It's a pedestal, and on the pedestal is a pyrolucite four-sided long die. This is for that divination thing there. Gonna pick that up, and we'll give it a spin. You roll divining the will of Tissa Gorge Cherished, according to the practice of the Carnal Fellowship. The word mirth comes up, and it says we missed our chance. Gonna pick up the dice again, give it yet another spin. The word comes up silver, and it says you already know the will of Tissa Gorge Cherished. Do not tempt fate. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not too sure what this all is exactly, but I have heard people say they've gotten benefits from rolling these dice. Like a god will improve their armor, or will transform them into an animal for 24 hours. Something along those lines. I haven't seen it myself, so I don't really know, but that's what I've heard. Makes you wonder what exactly these dice are capable of. Experimentation is warranted, but we'll save it for another day. Continuing now. Over here, looks like we have some sort of a structure. Interesting. Not too sure what we're working with here. Looks like just a room in some water. Couple pedestals inside. Cool, just a little temple shrine. I like it. Also, note the suspicious lack of any people anywhere. I do have a feeling that's because this world is completely ruined by that necromancer. I think everything is just gone now. Alright, well, I think that's going to be about it for this monastery area, but there is one more place I would like to check out, and that is the Necromancer Tower. I imagine it's loaded up with thousands of zombies at this point, but yeah, not going to hurt to have a stab at it. Okay, and here we are. I don't know what the hell is going on here. I know it was made so that a tower can evolve over time. I expect it to be a bit complex, but let's see if I can even get into this place. Okay, approaching. I'm seeing a building up there with some characters inside. Ah, soldiers of embraced gear. That's those things I saw. A small three-eyed humanoid. It has 4 stubby horns and its black skin is warty. This night creature was first created by the dwarven necromancer-led Soakboat of Jestmark, after horrible experiments on the elf Lapama Cryhawk in embraced gear in the year 82. Okay, this is one of those experiments. I can't imagine it's very friendly with me. Just gonna kind of wander around the area here. I mean, it's not attacking me. What are you doing? You just hanging out? I can see something else back there. Let's have a look, see what that is. A Bistkushkesp's Folly. A small scaly blob. It has a long straight tail. Its black scales are oval shaped and set far apart. Okay, well, this was an experiment, but was a failed experiment, I guess. So awesome. You know, I like to think these things aren't attacking me because they're not even concerned about my presence. Like I'm so helpless that they don't even care about me. Can I go in here? Can I just walk into this place? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they don't seem to care much about me, which is probably good. Well, I'm gonna carry on and see what else we got around here. Like we have a gigantic square pit and I see some sort of a construction out there. An enormous construction. Okay, all right, neat. Uh-oh, this can't be good. Yeah, we have a horde of zombies coming after me and they're drawing knives. Yeah, it's not good. Let's run. Oh, what are you? Oh, there's some cool stuff coming out of this house down here. What are you? A sunken-eyes goblin clerk, diseased thrall. Okay, yeah, it's definitely coming at me. That's one of those special undead things. Not an experiment, but an actual intelligent undead, I believe. And from what I understand, I think they have some sort of abilities, unlike normal undead creatures. Let me just try to like run around a little bit and see if I can coax it into doing something cool. Oh no, I'm tired. Oh no. Oh dear me. And there ends the adventurer. Well, that's a shame. Well, time to get back to that fortress mode, I think. And here we are. Yeah, I was playing around in the fortress here for a while, actually. But this message just popped up, so I figured, what the hell? Yeah, the Dead Walk. Let's have a look at what we're working with here up in the north. Yeah, I got a whole slew of things here. Looks like we have some normal old corpses. And then down here we have some frozen ghouls. Okay, like we have this one here. It's a goblin lasher, frozen ghoul, burr-bitten fiend. From the description, does not look to be much different than a normal goblin. I wonder if these kinds could sneak into your fortress as just visitors and stuff. That'd be very spooky. Also seeing these capital H's here. Those are those soldiers of embraced gear that we saw before, which I'm noticing are flashing with this zombie symbol, unlike those ones that we saw in adventure mode. So are these zombie versions of those necromancer experiments? Huh, very odd. Well, dwarves, it's been nice knowing you. Unfortunately, we really don't have any way to defend ourselves. And so it looks like cowardice will win out the day. Get to the burrow, dwarves. The burrow being down here, in what was going to be a fairly nice looking fortress. There we go, there we go. Scurry along, dwarves. Quickly now. Oh my god, looking up here, wow, that is a lot. This is our first siege from them. And there's an overwhelming number of undead here, including some different things. Let's have a look at these. Oh wow, cool. This creature here, known as Thrafdad, is a very large, scaly primate. It has a pair of knobby antennae. Its black scales are blocky and close set. This night creature was the first created by the dwarven necromancer Led Soakboat of Jestmark, after horrible experiments on yaks. Wow, that is so cool. So this is an experiment that was performed on a yak that turned it into some sort of a large, scaly primate? Oh man. Thrafdad is what is called a soaked boats creature. So they get names that depend on who created them or possibly where they're created. These other ones here are known as Led's dog. This one's a hairy spider. It has 2 long spiral horns and its black hair is short and even. This night creature was created by the dwarven necromancer Led Soakboat of Jestmark after horrible experiments on lynx. A lynx mutated so badly that it's now a hairy spider with horns. Gotta love it. Having a look at the list here, it's a little confusing and terribly interesting. We have corpses who are undead, okay? Pretty straightforward. But then we have frozen ghouls, which are marked as invaders. And as we had seen in Legends mode, these are definitely created by necromancers. I heard some speculation here and there that these might be mercenaries, and this is the name of their mercenary company or something, but I don't think that's the case. And then we have these red ones here, which are those experiments, but they're undead versions of those experiments. I know this because we could see live versions of those experiments. So cool. So like necromancers can just create new races, pretty much, that will just inhabit the world like any other race. Lastly, I noticed these diseased thralls. And it doesn't say they're undead, it says they're opposed to life. Plus the fact that it calls them thralls makes me think they've been... Well, actually, if we think back to Legends mode, there was that undead creature that we had looked into, the one that had become friends with Caspa when he was a child. And it said that that diseased thrall was created by a frozen ghoul. So I wonder if these thralls are being controlled by the ghouls that are in this siege? Fascinating. Very complex. Oh, and actually, here's something interesting. I just happened to notice it here. I'm looking at the combat report, and we have a wild boar fighting a goblin diseased thrall. And at the beginning of the combat, the wild boar is just a normal old wild boar. But by the time it is killed, it is a diseased thrall. If we look down the list right here, it is a normal wild boar until this exact point right here, when the goblin diseased thrall bites the wild boar. And it looks like at that exact moment, the wild boar becomes a diseased thrall. That is just wild. How you dwarves doing down here? Looks like, looks like they've run. They've run for the most part. This guy was too slow. Although it does look like most of the dwarves got to the burrow. Just gonna lock these doors up here. Very good. Back up here in the fortress. Things aren't going so well for our animals at all. But look at this. Okay, cool. It looks like one of those frozen ghouls is doing a special ability of some sort. The human lasher frozen ghoul clenches a fist, causing the stray water buffalo cow to pause. Very neat. So they have this ability where they can just kind of freeze someone momentarily. That is just amazing. I've seen a couple other ones too, just here and there, not personally, but I know some of them can shoot icicles. And I've also heard a story of one summoning a thick cloud of fog. To what effect, I don't know. Just amazing though. How cool is that? Just an amazing new challenge. Gotta love it. Back over here in our starvation chamber, fortress. We should really check out guild halls. Let's take a look at that real quick. Not the best time, but we don't have much time left. Over here in our living quarters. Ah yes, looks like we can make a craft guild hall. And we can have it center around many of the labors that we have here in the fortress. Well, I'll tell you what, let's make a miner hall. And from the looks of it here, we can change its restriction as to who can visit, that is. And it looks like by putting stuff in here, we can increase its value and raise it up from being just a meeting place into an actual guild hall eventually. Pretty cool. Okay, there we are. The Miners Guild Hall. I did make many of our civilians into miners just to see what they would do. Looks like they're just coming here and chilling out. Oh no, there we go. They're watching mining demonstrations. That is so cool. And it's being led by one of our longtime miners. Imagine the potential there. We can actually have like a guild area of our fortress. So fun. Alrighty, gonna try to wrap things up here real quick. That mist generator I was toying around with, it does work. It actually works. You can see the mist right there. Just had to give it a bunch of time. It's enough to actually drip down. It doesn't fill up the area below. Like, it looks awfully wet down here, but it's not too bad. There's a lot of potential there, that's for sure. Also, additionally, I will note that something has been done with stress, I believe. I do have a couple of upset dwarves, but it's not anywhere nearly as bad as it should be right now. These dwarves have been in this fortress for a number of years now, and it's kind of a hellhole, really. And at this point, they've been starving and dehydrating. They've seen a bunch of dead bodies. Yeah, something's been done, which is good to see. Much easier to manage a fort like this. On top of that, there has been a bug around that I am a little upset I didn't get to see personally, but it involves dwarven mothers. I'm sure you've heard of it at this point. But because of the new mount system, a dwarven mother, upon giving birth to a new child, will start wandering around at random and eventually will dehydrate. And that's because of that mount system there. Apparently the baby will ride the mother like a mount. And so the mother will start wandering around based off of the baby's whims. And the baby doesn't know what the hell it wants. And so the mother will die. One of those interesting Dwarf Fortress bugs right there. A classic, truly. Anyways, I guess that's gonna about do it for this initial look at the new release. And a pretty good look it was too. I think we had a good taste of it. And even so, I'm sure there's many things we still haven't even seen yet. Very exciting. Well, you bearded bastards, I hope you enjoyed yourselves today. And I do hope you'll check out this new update to Dwarf Fortress. There's a link below where you can pick the game up yourself. Anyways, once again, I thank you for watching. And I certainly hope to see you next time. And until then, my bearded bastards.